Coming up on AC 24/7, it's been more than 100 days since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Coming up, how abortion is playing a role in the upcoming election. Plus, the new rules that could make flying safer. And history is made for Aaron Judd. We'll show you who caught that historic hit. Welcome to AC 24/7. I'm Stephen Walker. The nation is now watching the Georgia Senate race even closer. GOP candidate Herschel Walker is denying accusations that he once paid for a woman's abortion. The Advocate Channel's Manu Raju has more on the fallout.
Herschel Walker's Senate campaign now reeling, upended by an explosive report alleging that the staunch anti-abortion Republican paid for a girlfriend to get the procedure for a child they conceived 13 years ago.
I never paid for an abortion, and it's a lie.
Walker stayed behind closed doors on Tuesday, with his aides refusing to disclose his schedule, even after they initially agreed to say where he would campaign this week. CNN, however, did obtain an invitation to an event hosted by prayer warriors for Herschel at a Baptist church in Atlanta. But CNN was not allowed to cover the event or wait in the parking lot, even as a leading conservative activist, Ralph Reed, came outside to defend the candidate.
I will promise you this. The voters of Georgia are going to reject this kind of gutter politics.
Can you tell Herschel Walker to actually come out here and answer these questions himself?
This is a closed event. It's a prayer event with faith leaders.
According to the Daily Beast, Walker in 2009 reimbursed his then-girlfriend $700 for the cost of the abortion. The woman was not named, and CNN has not verified the report. But the Daily Beast reported obtaining a bank deposit slip with a copy of Walker's personal check and a get well card signed by H, telling the woman, "Pray you are feeling better."
I send out so many get well, send out so much of anything, but I can tell you right now, I never asked anyone to get an abortion.
One of Walker's sons, Christian Walker, lashing out publicly against his father.
Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man.
While Walker tweeted, "I love my son no matter what." Can you respond to Christian Walker saying this is a lie, sir?
I gave my statement.
Like so many battleground states, the Supreme Court's decision to strike down Roe v. Wade, putting abortion front and center, especially for suburban women.
Abortion is certainly a driving issue for me.
Senator Raphael Warnock, the Democratic incumbent, tapping into the issue at a campaign event outside of Atlanta.
The patient's room is too small and cramped a space for a woman, her doctor, and the United States government. That's just too many people in the room.
But the freshman Democrats sidestepping questions about the story's impact on the race. Senator, do you believe the Daily Beast story?
I honestly haven't had a chance to look at it.
Warnock and his allies have already spent $76 million on ads here, about $10 million more than the GOP, attacking Walker's complicated past. But Republicans are hoping Warnock's ties to an unpopular President Biden and concerns over inflation and crime
Raphael Warnock, he chose felons over Georgia families,
will be enough to overcome Walker's problems.
I don't agree with Warnock's philosophy.
Walker keeping Biden at an arm's length.
Do you think Joe Biden should run for re-election?
Part of the problem in American politics is too much of the conversation is about the politicians.
Walker has been vocal opponent of abortion on the campaign trail. He has even said he supports a ban on procedures with no exceptions. It has been more than 100 days since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Now there's a new report out. Democrats are now urging abortion rights advocates to vote. They are trying to energize abortion rights supporters before elections next month. Abortion access is a rallying point at the federal level too, since Congress has the power to restore federal abortion rights. Former President Trump is asking the Supreme Court to step into dispute over top-secret materials seized from his Florida estate. Lawyers for the former president asked the court to overturn a lower court's ruling, which they want a special master to review the documents taken during the August 8th search. Lawyers submitted the application to Judge Clarence Thomas, who has come under fire for his vote in a different documents case. They are hoping to get a response within 1 week. The Federal Aviation Administration has unveiled a new rule for flight attendants. The Advocate Channel's Chris Nguyen has more on how the new rule could make us all safer.
For years, frustrated flight attendants have been pushing for change.
This started in the late 80s as flight attendants were identifying the problems with fatigue.
Flight attendants flying fatigued, sometimes on back-to-back flights, all while being on the front lines in the skies.
Sometimes the flight attendants are the first person that a passenger sees when something goes wrong. We are the first person, after they pass through security, after they check their bags, we have to deal with the brunt of the frustration in airline travel right now.
Compensate us. Give us the rest that we need.
Now, the FAA has announced a new rule that extends the minimum mandated rest period for flight attendants from 9 to 10 consecutive hours between shifts when scheduled for a duty period of 14 hours or less.
Flight attendants had even fewer rest hours than pilots. I worked alongside them, travel with them, and I can tell you firsthand that well-rested crew members are important to safety.
Despite the big win, airline activists say their fight is far from over.
We continue to make this one standard of safety and continue to press forward to ensure that this minimum rest is also applied for cargo pilots.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
The deal is back on for the sale of Twitter to billionaire Elon Musk. After calling off the purchase, Musk has sent Twitter a letter agreeing to purchase the company for the original asking price of $44 billion. The letter was disclosed in a filing with the US Securities and Exchange Commission. It comes less than 2 weeks before a trial was set to begin over Musk's efforts to back out of the deal. At least 2.7 million people are living with atrial fibrillation in the United States, including NFL player J.J. Watt, who announced he recently went under treatment for the condition. The Advocate Channel's Mandy Gaither has more.
In a tweet over the weekend, Arizona Cardinals defensive end J.J. Watt revealed he'd been treated for atrial fibrillation, or AFib.
If you have atrial fibrillation, take it serious.
Dr. Christopher DeSimone with Mayo Clinic says AFib is an irregular heart rhythm, and because it can lead to blood clots in the heart that can travel to the brain, those who have it are at increased risk for stroke.
It's almost like instead of having a coordinated contraction where the heart's filling and contracting, it's almost chaotic. So it's jiggling like you have a bag of worms.
DeSimone says warning signs often include a rapid heartbeat, chest pain, dizziness, fatigue, lightheadedness, reduced ability to exercise, shortness of breath, and weakness. See your doctor if you experience these symptoms.
If atrial fibrillation goes untreated or unchecked, it could either be a marker or reflection of underlying disease. It could lead to heart failure. It could lead to increased mortality.
The Mayo Clinic says having a heart-healthy lifestyle may help reduce the risk. That includes eating healthy, getting regular exercise, not smoking, avoiding or limiting alcohol and caffeine, and managing stress. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
There are several treatments for AFib, including medications, surgery or catheter procedures, and low-energy shocks to reset the heart's rhythm. That's the treatment that J.J. Watt says he received. There's a new hero slugger at the top of the MLB record books. New York Yankee Aaron Judge hit his 60-second home run, breaking MLB history. Judge surpassed Roger Maris's record of 61 single-season home runs set in 1961. The lucky fan who caught the history-making ball is not sure if he's going to keep it or return it to the player. Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and Mark McGwire all hit more home runs in a season, but that's considered the baseball steroids era, a dark time for the sport. Pride.com is making history with its first digital cover featuring the stars of the original series High School. The new streaming series is based on the best-selling memoir of the musicians Tegan and Sarah Quinn and was created by their friend, actor and director Clea Duvall. The stars of the series are Rayleigh and Susan Gilland, along with Kobe Smulders. Go to Pride.com for the full feature article on this historic cover shoot and exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. Thank you for joining us for AC 24/7. For content that advocates for you, go to advocatechannel.com, follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. For the Advocate Channel, I'm Stephen Walker.